Tonight, world leaders gathered for dinner at the residence of the King and Queen of the Netherlands. The ceremony had been part of a summit on nuclear security, but it had been overshadowed by the crisis in Ukraine. It was a day when the leaders of the G7 countries chose to cold shoulder Russia and boycott its summit in June. These hours of diplomacy had begun with a visit by President Obama to a restored museum for Dutch masters. He had come to Europe determined to keep the pressure on Russia and to signal that it could not expect a place at the world's top table for the time being.
Europe and America are united in our support of the Ukrainian government and the Ukrainian people. We're united in imposing a cost on Russia for its actions so far.
As the motorcade swept into The Hague, President Putin's was not among them. The leaders of the world's most powerful economies met at the Dutch Prime Minister's residence to decide what to do about Russia. Is it now time to exclude Russia from the G8 and make it a G7?
Well, we should be clear, there's not going to be a G8 summit this year in Russia. That's absolutely clear. We'll be meeting tonight the 7 other countries of the G8 to determine the way forward, but frankly it is Russia that needs to change course.
The mood was relaxed, but these leaders, huddled around a small table, decided that they would suspend taking part in G8 meetings until Russia changed course. The leaders also agreed to boycott a G8 meeting due to be held in Sochi in Russia in June and to hold their own summit instead. All of this intended to underline that Russia is isolated internationally. But the Russian foreign minister, who was actually here today, just shrugged it off.
«Восьмерка» — это клуб неформальный.
As far as the G8 is concerned, you know the G8 is an informal club. No one issues membership cards. By definition, no one can throw us out.
Amidst all the moving between venues, the leaders warned that any further Russian intervention would trigger sanctions. There was an interesting guest at tonight's dinner, Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister. Channels with Moscow are still being kept open. Gavin Hewitt, BBC News, The Hague.